concluding ceremony is none other than Honorable Hilik Bar. He's a member of the Knesset of Israel. He's the Secretary General of the Labor Party and Deputy Speaker of the Knesset. So we're happy to have a strong delegation from Israel, both Jewish and Arab. And I'd like you to come to the center because you have some papers you want to spread out here. So I'll switch with you just for the moment.
President Walsh, thank you so much. Honorable. First, I'm very excited to be here in the British Parliament and actually discuss peace. And I'm not saying it just for nothing. I'm saying it because it's not a very popular sport to discuss peace, not in our region, in the Middle East, and in Israel, between us and the Palestinians, and definitely not in parliaments. And I've been in parliaments. And what you are doing here, the UPF, British Parliament, it's amazing. It's to put peace at the top of the priority, and you're doing it as an organization. It's exciting and important. And I also bless you from all of my heart for the founding of the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, because if there is a group that can actually work really for peace, legislate, promote it, demand from the governments to do something about peace in their own country or others, it's parliamentarians. And this is why myself, together with my colleagues, Ksenia, Zuir, Ithawi, and others, in the caucus for the resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the Israeli-Arab conflict, worked for over 2 years to launch, and we launched last year, a diplomatic outline that will suggest how will we solve our own peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. People gave up to solve this peace, and we didn't give up. We prove ourselves as an Israelis that we solve conflict between even greater and much bigger enemies than the Palestinians, with Jordan and Egypt, who now have peace with Israel, which means that to solve peace is something that is not only desirable, but it's possible. I cannot pitch my whole diplomatic outline to you because it's 30 pages long. But again, we decided to do something because to do nothing is not a working assumption. However, I would like to share with you 5 short working assumptions about the Israeli peace resolution, telegraphic, so you will know that we are very optimistic about this peace in the Middle East, and the peace between Israel and the Palestinians can be a key to solve other problems. One assumption that we have, people in Palestine and in Israel say, you know what, this conflict is not solvable. We cannot solve it. So let's manage the conflict. We objected. We managed this conflict too long. And if managing the conflict means thousands of rockets on the south of Israel every summer, bombing Gaza and destroyed it every summer, kids that going and stab others and terrorists around the street, if this is a good management of a conflict, the men or the men who are managing it should be fired. And I believe that we as leaders should say loudly all around the world, conflict shouldn't be managed. Conflict should be solved, period. And this is the first assumption. The second one is that the two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians are the only possible solution between us. Excellent. The only one. And don't let people fool you, because you will hear from the extreme margins in Israel and in the Palestinian society that maybe the one-state solution is possible. It's not. The one-state solution will kill the Palestinian desire for their own state. It will kill also the Zionist dream to have a home state for the Jewish people in Israel. And this is why I'm glad that still the majority of Israelis and Palestinians, more than 70 or 80%, are still advocating and believe in a two-state solution, and we have to leave it on the table alive all the time. 3, people in Palestine and in Israel will say, you know what, yes, should solve it, but we don't have a partner. You know this no partner claim that you have in Israel and in the Palestinians. And I guess that for many Israelis, the Palestinians are not the perfect partners. For many of the Palestinians, the Israelis are not the perfect partner. But I ask Prime Minister Netanyahu and others in the Palestinian Authority, why do you wait for a perfect partner? We are enemies, okay? And usually in war and conflict, you will never find a perfect partner. Neither Egypt or Jordan wasn't the perfect partner for Israel, but we do have peace. I asked Prime Minister Netanyahu, are you expecting to have a Palestinian president that will be a great Zionist and will be having in his office the Israeli flag behind his desk? You will never find it. We have a problematic partner, a weak one that don't like us, but this is exactly why we need to have peace with him. We don't have to have peace with President Walsh because we don't have problems with him. But with the Palestinians, we have problems. And they are problematic partners, as I suggest, or think at least, that we are also problematic partners for them. So there is a partner. And the partner for Israel is the Palestinian leadership headed by Abbas, because he's the elected leader. And for the Palestinians, it's the elected Israeli government, although I'm part of the Israeli opposition as a member of Knesset and as a deputy speaker. Four, my friend, and this is a very hurting assumption, is that an Israeli-Palestinian agreement is not only possible, most of its parameters are known. 90% of the future Israeli-Palestinian agreement is already written in endless amount of accords and plans and paper, American paper, Arab papers, Israeli papers. There is a need to make a fine-tuning for the 5-10% of problems and disputes that we are having. But for this, we have to have a strong and courageous leadership. And knowing that most of the future agreement is already written, but we just need to have the forces to implement it, it's very painful, at least for me. And five, the fifth assumption is that we have to create a positive momentum toward the two-state solution agreement and not just wait that it will happen. And this is why President Walsh, Ms. Moon, I salute for what you are doing, because in our conflict we're usually either speaking for a month or two, and then it failed, and then we are in a year or two of doing nothing, total freeze, and this freeze, there is no vacuum. The incitement are getting bigger, the demonization is getting bigger. Okay, what you're doing here is generating positive momentum toward peace. And I wrote it in my plan and I salute you for this. And the last one is, my friend, to not dance only the Israeli-Palestinian tango for peace. We have to dance a much broader dance with the Arab world, with part of the Arab world. There is an Arab Peace Initiative that was offered to Israel 13 years ago by 22 Arab countries and 57 Muslim countries. Israel never replied. And I think that it's a poor mistake. I told Prime Minister Netanyahu, you can say yes, you can say no. He even didn't say no. But you can say yes, but we have a problem. Let's revise it, let's change it a little bit. But not to reply an Arab Peace Initiative by so many countries is not only a mistake, it's even not very polite. But what I suggested, I understand that I have to conclude, what I suggested is to split the Palestinians and the Arab and Muslim worlds to two main parts, to ask them. The first part is those that saying and acting like they want to live here next to us. With them, we have any obligation to talk for peace. The other part is those who want to live here instead of us. And with them, not only Israel, but the entire free world, England and France and Malta and Italy and Arab states have to create together a united front, because one of our speakers said that it's two options, either to fight for peace or to surrender to evil. And there is a dark and barbaric forces that are threatening not only Israel and not only Europe, they're threatening a lot of Arab and Muslim countries that want to live in their own way, but peacefully next to each other and not instead of the other. And we should exactly promote this agenda. President Walsh, one last request before I'm concluding. I want you to really strengthen this forum that you are launching here today. I want you to come and visit us in our region. I want you to learn our desires and wishes and problems and obstacles and to help us. And I want you as parliamentarians and as leaders to work in your parliaments and in the different circle to put peace and make it stay on the agenda all the time, because peace is not a privilege, it's a necessity and it's in our hands. Thank you very much.